about to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. I cannot believe I'm already filming another one of these. It feels like only yesterday that I was just introducing the last one, but here I am again, and I've got another look at what we've been eating as a family of 5 over the course of the last week. I just want to thank all of you that have watched my birthday vlog that I put up on Saturday, and everybody who commented on that. You left some lovely messages and you all really appreciated the vlog, so thank you if you went and watched that one. If you're not already subscribed and you do like this kind of video, then make sure you go and do that and click the notification bell. I'm going to be uploading a food haul on Thursday, and then at the weekend I've actually got a what I eat for breakfast video. So everything I've eaten over a couple of weeks for breakfast I've been filming, and I'm going to put it all together in a video for you guys, so make sure to keep an eye out for that one. In this video I've actually done a bit of a cook with me for a cottage pie that I made, so that you get to see step by step how I make it, and then there's lots of other things included as well. So I'm going to stop rambling and let's go and have a look at the video.
If you wanna see some crazy and also lazy, then you should meet me and my friends. Even though we got no money, we're sure as hell funny. Yeah, everything's better with them. We're just like ooh, ooh, ooh. We don't worry about tomorrow. We just ooh, ooh, ooh. What we wanna do tonight. Waking up at sundown, the world's our playground, and we don't even have to pretend. Every time we're together, it doesn't get better, and every day is like a weekend. We're just like ooh, ooh.
So I'm just beginning tonight's dinner, and I'm actually making a cottage pie. I got it right this time. I always call it shepherd's pie, but I'm not using lamb, I'm using beef. So in here I've just got 2 red onions and some fresh garlic. I've just chopped 2 cloves, and I'm just browning off the onions and then the garlic cook a little bit together. I've got my potatoes for mash in here, and I can already tell I probably haven't done enough. And then I've got some carrots boiling in here. This is just the way I make it. I know some people fry their carrots, but I like to boil them, and then I'll use that water to make the kind of gravy. I'll show you as I go along. And then I've got some beef steak mince that I just got out of the freezer. This is actually a 750 gram one, so it's probably going to make a lot of mince and not quite as much mash. So what I might do is freeze half of it, and then we'll have it another day. So rather than making a massive one and not having enough mash, I'll just make a smaller one, enough for us 4, because Jake doesn't like mash, so he's having something from the fridge tonight that we had last night and had left over. I think it's pasta dish. So now that's browning, I'm just going to add my mince in as well. So my mince is nicely browned, and what I'm going to do now is add some Worcestershire sauce. I've probably only got about a tablespoon left in this, so I'm going to add the rest of the bottle. It's a bit tough if I want more because I haven't got any. So probably a tablespoon of that. I'm also going to add a couple of squeezes of tomato puree. Not too much because I don't want to turn it into I don't want to turn it into a bolognese. I can't talk today. And then what I'm going to do with my stock cubes, I've got 2 beef stock cubes, and instead of making up stock or just putting them in dry, I'm actually going to put my stock cubes straight into this water. Very cleverly done with one hand. Maybe I should have opened them before I put the camera up, would have been a good idea. So I'm just going to pop them in here. It will make a really concentrated stock because there's probably not as much water as you would normally use for 2 stock cubes. This is quite difficult. And then I'm going to pour all this in with the mince. Right, so the other thing I'm going to add to this before I add my stock and my carrots, I'm also going to add some peas. In the freezer I had a little bit of leftover red wine. Now if you do ever have wine left over, you can freeze it in an ice cube tray or in a sandwich bag and use it in cooking. Now I know Steph in particular, I'm talking to you, you know who you are, is going to say there's no such thing as leftover wine, and believe me, there isn't normally in this house, but I must have been having an off day because I had some red wine left and I froze it in a little sandwich bag. So I'm just going to put that in The alcohol will all cook off anyway. It's gone a bit of a funny colour, but it's definitely red wine because I can smell it. So yeah, I'm just going to let that cook in, and then I'm going to add my carrot and my stock, and then I'm going to add these, because then you've got your water from the carrot, so you've got the nice flavour from that and the all the goodness as well. I'm going to add all that in. I didn't put any salt in the carrot water because obviously there's salt in the stock, and I've added a little bit of salt in the mince. So now I'm going to add my peas, not just yet because you don't need to put frozen peas until the very end really. I'm going to let that cook together. I want to leave it because I found lately the longer you leave these things, the better they taste, like spaghetti bolognese and everything. It's best not to rush it, so I'm going to give that sort of 30, yeah, I'd say at least half an hour, if not sort of 40 to 50 minutes, just to simmer nicely, and then some of that liquid will reduce and hopefully we'll be left with a really nice flavour. I'm also going to add some fresh herbs. What have I got? I've got chives and basil. I'm not sure they really go. I don't know what herbs to put in. I've got rosemary, but that's a little bit woody, and I've got bay leaves. Obviously I should have put those in already. I might put some basil in, don't know, or some oregano. I've got dried oregano. No, I'm going to put a little bit of fresh basil in. Oh, I've got mint. No, mint won't go in. Don't be silly, Vicky. For goodness sake. Put mint in a shepherd's pie. I just think you can add a few herbs. It always just, it's nice. There's no point using dried if you've got fresh. Just a little bit of basil. And yeah, I'm just going to let that cook for as long as I can. And just before I forget, I always forget, but I always add a big teaspoon of yeast extract or Marmite to like gravy or beef dishes. Trust me, it really does bring out the flavour. It's so good in shepherd's pie. My dad used to add this to everything, like putting a teaspoon of Marmite in things. That was just his thing. Well, not everything, he didn't put it in curry, but whenever he made bolognese or anything, he would always add Marmite, but I always like to add it into cottage pie, not shepherd's pie. Right, so for my mashed potatoes, I've melted some butter. There's about a tablespoon in there. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the butter and some black pepper. And then I'm going to add my potatoes. Oh, we have a stray, and attempt to mash. And I might add a little bit of milk, depending on what kind of potatoes these are. They look quite dry actually, so I probably will. I'm going to add a little bit of milk. Keep mashing. But you know they can blame us for acting shameless. Now we just like to have some fun. So my sauce has thickened up really nicely, and I've just added a big handful of frozen peas. So I'm just going to mix those through, and then I'm going to put it into some individual bowls and top it with some mashed potato. It's looking really nice. Going to grate some cheese on. The reason I forked the top is not to make it look like some 80s dish where you used to decorate everything with fork marks. It's because it helps the cheese to go a little bit crispier, like the top's a bit crispier if you fork it rather than leaving it smooth. The cheese kind of soaks in rather than all falls off the top. So I'm going to go in with some cheddar first. First. 2 layers of cheese. And then I've got a little bit of parmesan, so I'm going to put some of that on top because that gives it a really nice crispy topping. Ready to go in. These will probably take around 25 minutes. They're still really quite warm. If they were cold, I'd probably give them like 30 minutes, but 20 to 25 should be fine just to brown the cheese. Here we are out of the oven. I've had to put it on a plate because these bowls are boiling, and I've just sprinkled some chives on top for a little bit of greenery, and also we absolutely love chives with everything. And you can see the top's gone really nice and crispy with parmesan. You've got your nice crusty burnt bits, which are always the best. So that is what we're all having for our dinner tonight, other than Jake, who has got some corned beef spaghetti. A nice and simple dinner for the boys tonight. They've got some hot and spicy chicken burgers. They are from, where did I get those? Sainsbury's. Did I get them in Sainsbury's? Yes, I did. From Sainsbury's. Cheese slice. We've got a brioche roll, a hot dog roll, and some chips. Some of these are plain oven chips, and some of the lightly spiced, I think they are, from Sainsbury's as well. So Bailey and Jake have got like 2 chicken burgers. I've had to trim them a bit to fit them in the rolls. And then Oscar's just got one, and I've cut his as well. And then Steve and I are going to have our little birthday eve platter later on in peace and pretend we're at a restaurant. Right, so we are just about to set out our little pre-birthday platter, and these are all the things we've got. We've got some chicken parfait with sweet white wine, chorizo and chili cheddar rollitos, we've got pastrami, some bourbon whiskey glazed ham, smoked ham, we've got 2 lots of different olives, some stuffed chilies, we've got the sweet picante peppers, we've got the castello cheeses, and some smoked cheese, some blue cheese. We've also got cracker bread. Those are Cornish wafers over the back. Some Cars melts and some clover over there. And I think we've got enough to be going on with for now. Right, so we've laid everything out, and it's the same as before but without the packaging, but it looks much nicer this way. So we're just going to take a plate each. We were going to go and sit outside on our sofas, but we're in the middle of Money Heist and it's getting really good, so we don't want to miss it. So we're going to go and sit and watch some more of that while we have our little picnic dinner with some Prosecco. Again, third clip for this meal, but I just thought I'd show you my plate. Just a bit of everything. Steve said mine looks all nice and his is like meh. Because you just like exploded on
What? I haven't finished yet. It will be a masterpiece once I've finished.
Yeah, I think eyes bigger than belly. I'm probably this gonna sit there and eat this all night.
It's a picky platter.
It is, and then the boys will come down in a minute and be like,
devour.
oh yeah, and then the lot will be gone.
Yeah, we've got to get in first.
Right, so it is actually Saturday morning and we're having a barbecue today, so I'm just preparing the sides. And Steve's laughing because I've gone way over the top. I've prepared some bits and I thought I'd show you what I've done. This is a tomato and 5-bean mixed pasta salad. So it's actually a tin of like mixed beans in a vinaigrette. And I've made a tomato sauce using basil, stock, garlic, onion, tin tomatoes, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of sugar and some tomato puree, yeah. And then I've mixed it all together with some cooked pasta. So we've got this one. This is a red pesto and feta cheese pasta, and I've just put some fresh basil on the top and chopped up some feta cheese and put into there. But these are huge bowls, by the way. I mean, they're like my hand, they're proper family size bowls. I've made some potato salad. So in here we've got cooked baby potatoes, we've got some mayonnaise, a little bit of olive oil, some white wine vinegar, some chives, and some salt and pepper, and that's all that's in there. And this is one of the boys' favourites. They could eat it by the bucket, which is handy because this it weighs a ton. It's like so heavy. And then we've also got extra potatoes and we've also got extra pasta, but it will keep us going for a little while. Leftovers is always good, especially with the boys, because they can just open the fridge and help themselves. Tonight's dinner we have got the Sainsbury's Taste the Difference king prawn and I think it's king prawn and Calabrian chili ravioli. It's this one, and we really like this. We've had it quite a few times. I think it used to have crayfish in it, I'm not sure. So I've made a tomato sauce with garlic and basil and obviously tomatoes, and then we've got one of the red onion and rosemary flatbreads with it. So this is what we're having for our dinner tonight. We've just grated some parmesan on the top, and as always Hobbs really wants to try some. So I just had to pause this clip here because as we went to pick up our bowls, Steve's hand slipped and he dropped his on the floor and he smashed the bowl. There were shards of obviously ceramic bowl in his food and he couldn't salvage it basically, so his entire dinner was ruined. So we scraped it all up, cleaned up. It stunk for days. I don't know, he must have got it in the floorboards, but I kept smelling prawns every time I came in the kitchen. But yeah, so what we did is we took mine and split that between the two of us, and it was fine. It was just not quite as much as we would have had, but it was such a nightmare. We were like, no. So for dinner tonight I'm making Marry Me chicken. I've just sealed these chicken thighs in a frying pan with some salt and pepper, and I've made my sauce already. This has got the double cream, it's got some chilli, some thyme, some garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, some chicken stock. And what I'm going to do now is pour this sauce over the chicken and put it in the oven. Right, so I've poured my sauce over, and I've also put some fresh basil on top, and I'm going to pop it in the oven to finish cooking. I've also added some cream cheese to this time, as recommended by one of you guys, to make the sauce a little bit thicker. I'll leave the video that I made this originally in, linked down below, and all I did was add an extra, probably massive, like dessert spoonful of cream cheese as well. So I'm just going to put this in the oven. Right, so here we are out of the oven. I'm just about to put our pasta in our bowls and dish up. It's looking really nice. It's all bubbly and cheesy. And yeah, I'm just going to put it on top of some pasta. So here we are dished up. We've just got some pasta with it, and I've topped it with some Parmesan cheese and some fresh basil. And that's what we got for our dinner tonight. Right, so I'm just about to start tonight's dinner. I'm actually going to put it in the slow cooker, and I'm just about to show you a big slab of raw meat. So if you're not into that kind of thing, look away now. So this is a pork shoulder joint. It looks like that because I've taken the string off and I've removed the fat and all the visible fat, apart from these few tiny bits. But what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to put it in this bag and season it with this Cajun chicken seasoning. I'm going to add some extra smoked paprika, and I've also got a few apples that are on their way out, so I'm going to pop those in the slow cooker as well. And I'm just going to leave it in this bag to sort of like marinade for about half an hour, and then take it out the bag obviously and put it in the slow cooker. And then I think we've got some sub rolls in the freezer, so we might have like Cajun pulled pork subs and like wedges or something. So I'll show you it once it's in its next stage. Right, so I've also put some smoked paprika, some onion granules and some garlic salt, and I'm just going to kind of, my favourite term, smoosh it all around. I'm going to do the bag up and leave it for about an hour before I put it in the slow cooker. Right, so I've put my pork in the slow cooker. I've just put the apples underneath. You can just see them poking over there. It's got a really nice reddy colour. I'm not actually going to put any liquid in. I'm just going to start off without any, and then about, I don't know, 3 hours into cooking I can kind of reassess and see if I want to add a little bit or not. But there's always liquid that comes out of the pork, and also the apples will create some as well. So I'm just going to start off with it dry like this. So I just used 2 forks to shred the pork. It's gone really soft and tender, and I didn't add any liquid in the end at all, and you can see there's quite a lot in there anyway. So we just got some jacket potatoes cooking for Steve and I, and the boys are going to have theirs in some brioche buns with wedges. Right, so here it is dished up. I didn't film the boys, they've had theirs in brioche buns with some salt and pepper wedges. And Steve and I have got ours on jacket potatoes. It doesn't look very appetising now, but we've got jacket, pulled pork, a little bit of grated cheese and some of the really, really hot chilies that we like. And this is what we've got for dinner tonight. It smells good, and I'm sure it's going to taste good. It just doesn't look very good. So for dinner tonight I have made a bolognese with the leftover pork from last night, and I've just done it on some spaghetti with grated cheese and some shop bought garlic bread. And there's Oscar coming down the stairs. So for the boys' dinner tonight I have done them a good old classic can't be bothered to cook dinner. We've got chicken nuggets, chips and beans, and a little pot of ketchup. Steve and I are eating later. He's not home from work and I'm going shopping in a bit. These pots were from the pound shop. You get 3 for £1, obviously. And they still do them now, and I've had them for years. Well, I've probably had them 2 years, maybe a year and a half. They still do them now. You get them in a pack of 3. Just thought I'd mention it. And then these, they often do in there in the summer. They're like little buckets, and they were in the pound shop and you get 4 of those. So just thought I'd mention that. So we've got Bailey's, Jake's and Oscar's good old chicken nuggets, chips and beans. So for dinner tonight, Steve and I have got corned beef spaghetti. Steve's just grating the parmesan on top. So yeah, it's just tin of corned beef, some basic ragu sauce and some spaghetti topped with parmesan. I think there's a cook with me up on this channel for this. I'll link it down below if there is. I'm pretty sure I've done one. But it's really simple and really tasty. So this is what we are having tonight.
Afternoon tea.
Afternoon tea at the Ritz. At the Foulgers.
Foulger family estate.
We've got, these are like cheese and onion. We've got salmon, smoked salmon and cream cheese, We've got all our little scones. These are fresh from Marks and Spencer's this morning. Mini cakes, little meringues. Got a pot of Assam tea. And we've got ham and pastrami and mustard. We've got some plain ham in case someone's not keen. We've got milk, more clotted cream. Perfect day as well. It's so warm, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Love it. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Take care, guys.
This is what we waited for.